If you are a child of the 70s and 80s, which you probably are because you're a parent now, you know one of our next guests from the trio, Sharon, Lois, and Bram. Our other guest is not only her singing partner, but her daughter. So welcome, Sharon and Randi.
And she's the boss. She's the manager.
Yes.
Get it.
Everything that she says.
Yes.
We're tickled to be with you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for wanting to be on the show and taking time. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So I know that you have Skinnamarink with Sharon and Randi, a live virtual event on August 27th. Can you tell us a little bit about how you transitioned from Sharon and Bram to Sharon and Randi?
Well, we had to transition first from Sharon, Lois, and Bram to Sharon.
Oh, right.
And we did that 20 years ago when Lois retired. And Bram and I were very accustomed to singing together, being together, hanging together. So it was easy. It was a pleasure. And we had almost 20 years, of touring in that way. And then the last couple of years, leading into our 40th anniversary, Randi got involved and managed us and looked after everything related to the touring. Was the producer of our wonderful new Skinnamarink book. She wrote all the new lyrics for the book, which are fabulous. And she produced an album. Bram and I had not recorded in many, many years, and she produced the recording that we did, which is called Sharon and Bram and Friends. And it's mostly a bunch of songs that my husband had written years ago. So it's very exciting. And she would sing with us. She sang on the album, and she would sing with us periodically in various situations. And once Bram decided that he really wanted to retire, it made sense for the two of us to carry on. She knows everything there is to know about Sharon, Lois, and Bram and our history and the music and all of that. So it's been a natural evolution.
I joke that I spent my whole life preparing for this job.
I mean, you have.
Yeah, that seems very accurate.
You know, I've read, there's been a couple other circumstances. I'm going to, of course, I think Tony Bennett actually too, that his son got involved and started like a whole new different chapter. And isn't that it? I guess if you're raised in the business, then sometimes your kids bring a whole different new life to a project that you started so many years ago.
Yeah, I really in the couple of years leading up to the 40th anniversary touring, they had really pared down to a duo where they were traveling, the two of them, and it was getting hard. And I wanted them to retire with a bang. And Bram was ready. He was really ready to not do this anymore. And
touring is so hard too. It's strenuous.
Oh, traveling with them, I don't know how they did it all those years. It's so exhausting. But when I suggested to my mom that we should do stuff together, I mean, I've been running harmonies with them my whole life, and I taught them songs, I wrote stuff for them, and then the idea of singing together seemed obvious to other people who suggested it to me. And she was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know about this. So it turned out that we're actually, our friend Grant Slater, who's also our keyboard player, says that whether we intended or not, we're a bit of a comedic duo. So.
Yes.
We had some gigs that were lined up. And then, of course, with the pandemic, that all fell apart. Yeah. So Randi and I started doing Facebook Live performances and focusing on the albums that the trio had produced. And we had so much fun doing them, and people enjoyed them. And it was kind of natural, and they were playful, and we were very, very informal, very relaxed. And I think people like to see real people doing real things, and that's what it was.
Well, you know what's really nice is, they say don't meet your heroes because a lot of times you'll be very disappointed. And I think the fact that you guys working together and this event, Randi, your children are a part of it, right?
They are. As I was seeing your kids, I was thinking mine are 17 and 19 and they tower over us, but they're musical. My son Ethan will be playing guitar. My son Elijah's going to sing with us. When we do Fish and Chips and Vinegar, he's going to lead a third of the round. And
can you imagine how thrilling that is for me?
It's got to be and it's just my point in the not Don't Meet Your Heroes is it legitimizes truly this legacy that you've created, and that, you know, this family business. I mean, it is a business, but this family
experience.
Yes, absolutely. And it makes it's just so genuine, and it's just, you know, it's really nice.
This is what secretly we hope, me and my husband hope happens, because my husband's a musician. I was a singer, actor, musician, and already our daughter really likes music. So we're like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to retire and become a touring band.
So,
Luna, what's your instrument? You know?
Well, you
That's
know,
so
it's
cute.
interesting because people who were fans of the Elephant Show,
that's me.
when I was traveling, they would say that one of the things that they loved about the show was they felt like Sharon, Lois, and Bram were genuine, authentic people, that they weren't talking down to kids.
No, it's like Mr. Rogers, the same thing. You have the same like Mr. Rogers vibe. You're just our friend. You're not.
Yeah. So for me growing up, they were part of our life, our family, and our life, and our circle. And Lois was like an aunt to me. And, you know, Bram's very much like an uncle. And they're, you know, their personalities on screen, on stage, and in person are really the same.
That's so nice. So Keri and I, we love our moms very much. Like my mom, I live 7 blocks from my parents. My mom is my best friend in the world. So it is
I'm
quite
moving to New Jersey to be closer to my mom in the fall. So
it is quite actually our dreams to work with our mothers. So what's that like for you, Randi? You know, and that being said, I would fight with my mom constantly if we worked together. But at the end of the day, it'd be good. We'd love each other. We'd be happy. So
literally,
what's
our
it
moms
like for
are our
you
best
guys?
friends. We like are obsessed with our moms.
Yeah. Well, my other job is family lawyer, divorce lawyer.
Oh my gosh, you're perfect for this.
I spend a lot of time in that aspect of my life dealing with, you know, conflict and unpleasantness and negativity. And I've always been involved. I mean, I worked in their office. I worked on the TV shows. I always had a hand in things over time.
She even was an elephant.
I was the elephant. And so when this opportunity presented itself for me, it just came with so much gratitude to be able to be creative, to be able to be in an environment where all you're doing is creating joy and being around families who get immense pleasure from this. So for me, it was a gift and a blessing to be able to honor the career of my mom and Bram and Lois, and then to be able to try and continue and sustain the legacy and keep sharing the music, because it's timeless.
And bring a new life to it.
I hope so.
For sure. And the thing is that we're in a different place than you will be with your mothers, because there's more behind me than what's ahead of me. And I'm really happy. I was terribly involved and had a lot of control and a lot of power, as we all did. But I'm very happy to let Randi run with things and tell me when to turn up and what we're doing. And I mean, it's not that she doesn't consult me at all, because of course we do discuss things, but I'm able to be more relaxed about all of that now.
Listen, let me tell you.
And I know her values, and I know her expectations, and partly I'm emissary, partly I am, you know, advocate, and partly we're just very in sync and in agreement about this stuff.
I was just gonna say, listen, COVID has aged Ashley and I about 20 years. So we might be ready to hand over the reins when this is over, because we feel like we've done the work of 20 years worth of, and it's just been just a few months.
I believe it.
Yes. It's rough.
Randi, what was it like growing up? I mean, you mentioned it a little bit, but what was it like growing up with this like incredible family band? It's like Partridge Family come to life in real life. Like, how did growing up in that environment influence you in how you grew up and kind of the woman that you've become today?
Well, you know, whatever your reality is your reality. So I just took it for granted. But, you know, I have vivid memories of my mom cooking dinner in the kitchen. And after I finished practicing my classical piano, my dad would pull out his stand-up bass and stand behind me. And we would play music together and entertain my mom while she was fixing dinner.
Aw.
If my dad was writing an arrangement for a song, he would often invite me to the piano to
Try out
parts with my mom.
My husband was a musician. He performed in a group in Canada called the Travelers. That was a prominent group. And he was a bass player, and he did a lot of musical arrangements for us, particularly at the beginning of the career. He did some of our best vocal arrangements ever came from Joe.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love this because our husbands are also involved in the show. It's like
Great.
we're all supportive of each other in whatever way we can do it.
It takes a village, especially now. So Bram's brother Jeff is participating in the concert with Bram, and he's a dear friend of mine. And he said, "I'm worried about the sound. I have an adapter for my computer that can plug microphones in directly. Let me fiddle with it." So he did that. My kids are going to help me set up the deck. Their friends from high school who are in stage crew are going to do sound and tech for us on the night.
Aww.
Just,
I mean, that's how you've got to make things work at this point. And you know, why not?
We're lucky to have those resources too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It truly takes, like you said, it takes a village. And I also think, though, I always say this, I also think it's a testament to the people, because not nice people don't get a lot of offered help.
No.
So you guys are very generous, honest, genuine people. Ashley and I are on it. And so people offer to help us because they want to see us succeed. It's like that shine theory that we all can be our best all together, you know?
Well, I was just going to say, somebody once told me there's a reason that Mariah Carey has had so many performances where the tech crew has let her not sound so good. And I thought that was a very interesting and valid point. Like, you only hear those stories about certain, you know, people who have a certain kind of reputation.
I have always felt that a manager, your manager, who's out there in front of you looking after things, is a reflection of you. And if there's something not nice about that manager, it tells the other people everything about you. So you really have to be clear about the kind of people you want to be associated with.
Right, because they're your representation. Yeah.
Yep. So let me ask, can we talk about Skinnamarink?
Yeah.
The actual song, you know, talking to you is kind of very emotional for me. My husband and I have talked extensively about how we were singing it at 3 years old. We both love the Elephant Show. And now our 3-year-old son sings it. It's one of his favorites.
You can't imagine how much pleasure that brings to me. And by the way, we also loved the Elephant Show. We loved making it. We loved doing it. We reflect back on it with immense pride and pleasure.
It was my Paw Patrol, you know. It was the thing that I loved all the time. You know, what is it like? What does it feel like to have, I've said legacy before already in this interview, but it truly is. What is it like to have touched so many people with this song and be a part of that?
It was incredibly surprising. We learned the song because before we made our first record, we borrowed money from our family and friends, and Lois went to Chicago to get some money from her family, and she met her young cousin Lisa and said, "Do you know any good songs?" And Lisa taught her Skinnamarink. She was a little girl. She learned it at guide camp. And Lois brought it back and said, "I think this is a good song. Let's record it." And we did. And when we did our first concert, we said, "It's such a great song. Let's end the show with that," which we did. And then we said, "It's a perfect ending. We will end everything forever with this song." And we did. Every show, every performance, every TV show, every interview. I mean, we always use that song. So we didn't know we were building a legacy. We just knew that it was a great message to have people singing "I love you" to each other. What could be better than that?
Nothing.
Nothing, exactly. And we're, you know, I'm immensely proud of that. I never dreamed such a thing, but if you're going to lead people with something, a message like that forever that's as good as it gets.
And we've had the pleasure of singing it all over the world. I mean, we're avid travelers, and that's something else that I have the good fortune of doing with my mother. And we were just in Africa in February, and we sang it in Rwanda in a village. And we sang it twice, and then we did it a third time with the people from the village. And the last time we did I Love You Too, Boopy Doo, Mwah. And they laughed hysterically. They thought that was just ridiculous.
The people who took us to that village were Bram's son and daughter-in-law.
Right.
I mean, everything is connected in
Yeah.
there.
I love that. That's just so beautiful.
Something that my husband and I talk about, again, as musicians who now have a child, and we had a child a little later in life than a lot of people do, is that so much, you too? Yeah. My mom had given up hope, and then 40 slipped one in right at the end. She was like, oh, here we go. Shocker, they'd given up. But so much of kids' music is just not good. And for so many reasons, I mean, we could say this about anything really, but it's either the message is not really great, it's just kind of stupid, or the melody's not really good or something. And so in our household, we really try, regardless of whether it's a simple song or a complicated song or whatever it is, that it's just a good song, good musically, good message, regardless if it's a kids music or not. Like, we want our kid to have a wide, like Fire and Rain is one of her favorite songs by James Taylor, but then she also likes some good kids music. You know what I mean? And something about your music is it's just good music, and it has a genuine message that you feel good. I'm not like wanting to change it on the radio. You know, I don't want to change it on my iTunes.
It doesn't come on and you're like, oh God, not again.
I'll listen to this one again. Right.
You have really just described our fundamental values and the things that matter to us at the very beginning and never stop mattering. That is, we always chose songs that we liked. We never chose them because they were teaching someone how to do math. Happens that in some of the songs, they might be learning their arithmetic, and that's okay, as long as the song starts out being good. We also chose great arrangers, great musicians, worked hard in the studio with a great producer. We've spent money on everything that we did without thinking, oh, this is not very practical to spend all this money. We always we figured that children deserve the best the world has to offer in all things: food, education, music. So what you've described is exactly where we're at and have been.
Well, now it's my turn to cry, because right before we got on this call, Ashley and I were talking about like where we're pivoting in our career with this podcast. And one of it involves what you just said, is investing money in quality things, because we don't want to put out a not quality product for parents or children.
Yeah.
And that sometimes the bottom line,
you got to make the investment in yourself.
You need to make an investment in yourself.
And it's very nice if you can create something that speaks on different levels to for the children and the moms. We had a writer who was involved with us even before Elephant Show. We did some specials with her, and she was a writer at CBC, and she talked about crumbs for the mums, which I thought was terrific. It meant that there could, what do you call them now?
Easter eggs.
Yes.
Something in there for the parents without in any way disadvantaging the children.
Right. The parents are like, oh, I got you. I heard that right there. Yeah.
And also, we've heard from so many people over the years, I drive my kid to school, we're playing the music, you know, we love it. I drop off the child and I keep playing the music as I'm going on my way to work. I mean, that's that.
I need to hear this too, you know?
Well, we have a good friend. His name is Josh Lovelace. He lives in Knoxville, and he's in a group called Need to Breathe. And he's also a wonderful children's entertainer. He's made a couple of beautiful records
For children and families.
children. And he talked about how when he was a kid, he could get all different musical genres off of a Sharon, Lois Bram record. You could get a country song, you could get a pop song, you could get a classical song, a folk song, and that he didn't realize that what he was doing was being introduced to all different kinds of music just on a children's record.
That's amazing.
So kind of piggybacking on what I just asked about Skinnamarink, and you touching so many lives. What I kind of feel like I'm talking to, you know, just like a very wise figures in my life,
sage,
you know?
you
Yeah,
might
yes,
say.
exactly. What is the biggest nugget of advice that you could give people in this very trying time right now?
Wow.
An anecdote, advice, a loving saying, anything.
You know, what I would say is a perspective of gratitude. For us in Canada, it's probably easier than for you guys because we have very low cases. We have a low ratio of hospitalizations and deaths.
We have great respect for the scientists. They are front and center in our country.
Ashley and I do as well, but
yes,
many people in the country do not.
What I mean is that because of where we live, we have enough to eat. We have healthcare available to all of us. So it's a horrible time. And when you talk to people and say, how are you doing? To a certain degree, everyone is experiencing the same thing all over the world. So, you know, I have really crummy days. And what I try and do is just remember I get to hug my mother and my kids. And, you know, and my friends, I get to see my friends in safe environments. And it just really helps to remember that it could be worse.
And we are among the young.
We're really lucky.
We're among the lucky ones. And I would say in addition to that is try to find the little pleasures in your life and go to them. Don't live only in how difficult this is and what's going on. And one has to recognize the hardship, but also one has to look for the things that give you pleasure.
That's why Ashley has the Real Housewives franchise.
It's true. That is a very accurate thing
That's
to
where
say.
she goes to appreciate the things in her life that she really loves.
Uh-huh.
So you know how you have friends probably who have wine o'clock.
I'm that friend.
I joke about cry o'clock because every couple of days something will happen that will make me think, oh my God, this just really. But we laugh a lot, and playing music with your family is an elixir.
The serotonin blast.
100%. So I mean, I think music is a real salve or balm or comfort.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we had a rehearsal the other night, and we were going to rehearse outside for the live concert. We were going to rehearse outside, but it had rained, so we ended up being inside. And it's very funny to look around the room to see everybody singing behind their masks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
it's a little bit muffled, huh?
Yeah.
It wasn't actually.
It sounded good actually.
It was fine. Yeah. It was.
That's what I say. When I used to I used to do like Broadway stuff touring, and we had when we were in hotels practicing, warming up for our like away gig, they had this thing called the singer's box where you put it over your mouth and you could sing at your full volume, but it muted it.
I've never seen anything like that.
Which is sort of like a mask. Yeah, it's on Amazon where you can like sing at full volume, but you're not going to make your neighbor
crazy.
It's a real good. It should be our swag bag for New York performing musicians. Let me tell you.
I've seen you because Sharon and Randi love Broadway, and New York is one of our favorite mother-daughter trips. So
maybe I was like mostly. I never made it big. I was the understudy for a bunch of big Broadway things, and I was big what they call the legit theater, which is the non-music theater. But for musicals, I was the understudy. So it depends on what day. If you saw the understudy, maybe you did see me. So tell us about this big live event. So so give us the details. What should we expect? What tell us all about it.
So it's Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. It is an homage, Eastern time. It's an homage to an elephant show VHS called Live in Your Living Room. So we are doing it by Zoom. So for the first time for us, we will actually get to interact with the audience. So we will get to see them doing the actions and hopefully singing along with us at home. And hopefully it will feel more like a concert experience for them too, because in addition to seeing us, they will be able to see each other if they so choose. So it will be me and my mom, and Bram is going to be our special guest, and he's going to sing a song that he's never performed before, and then he's going to sing a couple of songs with us, my sons and
Bram's brother, as
Bram's
we
brother.
mentioned. And he'll play with Bram, but he'll also play with us.
My boyfriend and I have written a lullaby, which we're going to sing. You'll for sure hear Skinnamarink, and
Randy's boys will be performing.
Yeah.
Ethan plays the guitar, and his girlfriend Claire is a bass player. She's terrific.
Oh my God, the teenage girlfriend got in and everything. This is great.
Yeah. And Elijah
Elijah will
will
sing
sing
with
with their
us.
girlfriends,
Yeah,
but
but
one's going to be
One
away.
is going to be away in
Yeah.
a cottage, which is
Oh.
disappointing because she's a wonderful singer and a
I
wonderful.
want to do a documentary of this.
I know,
I want to
like- How come I didn't date a guy in high school whose family loved me like that?
We think it will be fun. I mean,
please someone
it's going
record.
to be fun.
Please somebody videotape some footage of you guys getting ready and doing all this, because I think this
Yeah.
is amazing just to see how you guys are gonna, even the pre-show before the show, just seeing everybody get together. I would love to see that.
And maybe the pizza after.
Yes, exactly.
So Sharon, Lois, and Bram's keyboard player, Grant Slater, and his wife, Kim, who's a flautist, are also going to be accompanying
Part of
us. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So we-
You know, that Aretha Franklin documentary just came out. You guys, you gotta start working on the Sharon, Lois, and Bram doc.
Yeah, all we need
Working
is
on
for
it.
you to do the fundraising for us.
Perfect. We're working on that for ourselves. So
It's
we'll
just
throw
gonna be
that in
me
there.
being like, "Don't you guys want to see this?"
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want our audience to know?
Well, I can tell you that we are working on the next Sharon, Lois, and Bram book, which is going to be of one elephant. And you will probably hear it long before you see it, because they won't even announce it until 2022. But once the new words are nailed down, which I have written, you will get to hear it. So we're very excited about that.
The book industry moves at a different pace than the recording industry.
Yeah.
So the Skinnamarink book it's such a huge winner, much to the surprise of I mean, we knew it would be good, but we didn't know it would be that successful, and it's a bestseller in Canada.
When you were asking about Skinnamarink earlier, when they decided to do the book, they expected it to be successful, but it sold more than 50,000 copies, which is phenomenal. 5,000 is a bestseller in Canada. 50,000 is a big number of books for most authors. So we are overjoyed with the response to it. And what it has done is it has created a new vehicle for sharing the song, because you can read it and look at the illustrations, or you can sing it. So we're very grateful for that. I'm wondering if you have seen our video of the song Talk About Peace.
I have not.
We did a Zoom recording of a song that Sharon and Bram had recorded, written by my father.
Called Talk About
Peace. And we invited friends and family to sing on it with us. So
it had been recorded, it was out there, but during the quarantine, Randy thought the message of the song would be an important message to put out there.
Oh, and we'll link that on our show thing too. That's amazing.
What did it have? About 130,000 views on Facebook.
Would you ladies mind singing a couple of songs for our kiddos?
It will be a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're very excited.
Sebastian, do you like Five Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed? Do you know that one?
She does.
You know that song?
Yeah.
So say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
You do that one? Okay, put up your fingers, your Five Little Monkeys. Okay.
And here's the bed with the other hand. Monkeys and bed.
You do monkey.
5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, "No more monkeys jumping on the bed. 4 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and she bumped her head. So Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed.
Say the word.
No monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and she bumped her head. So Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, you say it. No
more monkeys.
Say it. You got it.
No more monkeys jumping on bed.
Yeah.
Two little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, no more monkeys
Jumping on bed.
little monkey jumping on the bed. He fell off and he bumped his head. So Mama called the doctor. The doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. No little monkeys jumping on the bed. None fell off and bumped their heads. So Mama called the doctor. The doctor said,
No
those monkeys
monkeys jumping on bed.
When we do that song, you know, we go like this, but nobody knows what that is anymore. When you talk on a telephone, you talk like this or like this.
It's a very old-fashioned phone.
So we could adjust the words for the future.
You're like Transylvania 65000.
Now, shall we do the other familiar, famous song?
That's all.
There
Can
has
we do a song that looks like this? Do you want to do this one? Let's do it
Well, we're
together.
going to do it with the new words too.
Yes, you get to hear the new words from the book.
Good.
Okay.
Here's a little ditty that we all know and sing. We share it with our families and let our voices ring. It also has some actions. They're really fun to do. And now we'd like to sing this special song with all of you. Here we go. Skinnamarinky dinky dink, skinnamarinky doo. I love you. Skinnamarinky dinky dink, skinnamarinky doo. I love you. Put up the sun. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Skinnamarinky dinky dink, skinnamarinky doo. I love you. I love you when you're happy and when you're feeling blue.
And when you're feeling grumpy, I'll give a hug to you.
Skinnamarinky dinky dink, skinnamarinky doo. I love you. Well, I love you in the Arctic, the desert, by the sea.
And on the top of the mountain, standing next to me.
Skinnamarinky dinky
Dink
dink,
a dink,
skinnamarinky
say
doo.
I
I love you.
you.
I love you in the summer, the fall and winter too.
I love you in the springtime. I love you through and through.
Skinnamarinky dinky
Dink a
dink,
dink, say
skinnamarinky
what
doo.
you do.
I love you. Be sure to sing this love song with everyone around. When we all sing together, it's such a lovely sound. Skinnamarinky dinky dink, skinnamarinky doo. I love you.
Do you want to sing a chorus for us?
Can you sing it now?
Skinnamarink for us?
Skinnamarinky.
Dink, 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 say winky do. I
Love. You doing
You.
it. Good job.
Again.
keep going.
Skinnamarinky.
Say winky dink, say winky do. I love you.
I love you in the
Morning.
love you in the evening underneath the moon. Skinnamarinky dinky dink, skinnamarinky doo.
I love you too. Boo, boo, bee, bee, ah.
Guys, I cried.
Oh, Sebastian, you did great.
Sebastian was giving you a heavy metal remix.
Yeah,
Why? Why?
because it's very. Mommy was singing that song as a little girl.
And now she's a big girl.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much. That was so special.
Plug yourself. Tell us where we can find the Zoom link. Tell us all the places we can find you, and plug yourself away. This is your shameless self-promotion section.
This is the kind of stuff that I'm so happy I don't have to know, because Randy knows all of it.
Well, Randy, can we clone you? We need a Randy.
Well, we gave birth to our Randys, okay?
I know.
We just need to give them a few years,
Okay.
like 10, and then we'll put them to work.
So the concert it's $10, and it's through Side Door. So we have on all of our socials, there should be a pinned post at the top. So Sharon, Lois, and Bram on Facebook, at Sharon, Lois, Bram on Twitter, on Instagram. It's all the same, Sharon, Lois, Bram.
And there's a link in all of those places.
Yeah.
The link to buy tickets is in our bio.
Thank you. I'm also happy to share with you the Facebook video from the other night of us singing Hey Dum Diddly Dum.
Rehearsing.
With our masks on and rehearsing.
We would love that.
Yeah, that's so cute. Please do.
And I am just going to right now, this is peak Momtourage podcast.
Oh no.
My child just told me that she needs to go poopy on the potty. So I am going to say, I know this is a big deal. She wants to use the potty. So I'm going to say goodbye to you and say it was the utmost pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Hearing you sing, meeting you virtually. It feels like we met. Thank you so much for taking the time. Ashley will finish it off, and then I will continue recording because this is a big deal. My daughter has not pooped on the potty. So we're just going to try this real quick.
If she poops on the potty, sing bravo, 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 bravissimo, bravo, bravo, very well done.
Yeah!
That's so much better than poopy in the pate, which is what I sing.
Oh, you gonna say goodbye before you go poopy? Come here. She wants to say goodbye.
We can.
Bye, Luna.
Okay, say bye. Say
bye, Luna.
Oh, say bye, Luna.
Bye, Luna. Go poopy on the potty. Way to go.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies. Ladies, just thank you so much. It was really just such a emotional pleasure.
And you gave us our cry for the day. One
Yeah.
down.
Really fun. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Sebastian.
Subscribe to Momtourage wherever you get your podcasts.